everyone, my name is Dr. Spatika Iyengar. I work as a senior CFD modeler at Aqua Energy. I'm here to talk about massive high performance cloud computing for digital rock chemistry physics. Here is an overview of this presentation. I'll first walk you through the reactive transport models, the motivation for this study, the computational problem that we solved, AWS serverless and multi-node architecture that we used, our method, the benchmarking tests and the corresponding results, and then the conclusion. So what are reactive transport models? Reactive transport models are computational tools that help us analyze the interaction between physical, chemical, biological processes that occur in material and energy systems. So basically, these mathematical models solve coupled equations which include CFD for multi-phase flow, solute transport for analyzing advection and diffusion of dissolved chemical species, and in addition to that, quantitative biogeochemistry. The reactive transport models have enormous applications. For example, in oil and gas industry, they are used in enhanced oil recovery strategies. In mining, they are used to minimize the risk of groundwater contamination by acid mine drainage. In nuclear waste management, they are used to assess the safety of the cement-based engineered barrier systems that are used in the nuclear waste repositories. So if we look at the various applications in different industries, we find that the real-world problems that use reactive transport models, they vary from nanometer scale to kilometer scale. So basically the reactive transport models that are used are actually multi-scale models. Nowadays we also see that most engineers and scientists, they opt for flexible, scalable, online solutions for their research or operations. The cloud-based solutions offer all these advantages, and in addition to that, they are cost-effective, especially because they reduce the maintenance of the hardware and software, especially when working with large-scale computational problems. We can also see that the reactive transport models have not immensely benefited from these cloud-based solutions. Hence, our objective here is to apply high-performance cloud computing to reactive transport models. So in this presentation, we are going to explain a study where we ran multiple simultaneous spore-scale reactive transport simulations on a carbonate shale using our novel web-based application and extracted important petrophysical properties like relative permeability saturation and capillary pressure saturation relationships. Our motivation for the study is the digital rock chemistry physics. Usually in oil industries, people use CAL experiments to determine the hydrocarbon recovery strategies. These CAL experiments may take up to a year or maybe even more, and they are not even conducted in the reservoir scale. So the digital rock physics acts as a digital twin for these CAL experiments. So combining micro-CT, cell, imaging with pore scale models, the digital rock physics help us analyze the physical properties of the pore sample. But one of the drawbacks of this digital rock physics is that they do not include the complex biogeochemical fluid rock interactions that occur. Hence, our web-based application performs what is known as a digital rock chemistry physics. It includes equations which can solve for this complex fluid rock interaction phenomena, and in addition to that, it uses cloud-based technologies for conducting massive high-performance cloud computing calculations. So here is the computational problem that we solved. We had a very large carbonate shale geometry. The size is 727513 by 371. The small geometry was of the size 456 by 400 by 371. We had to run 6 simultaneous simulations on the large geometry, 5 simultaneous simulations on the small geometry, and these different simulations were for different pressure difference between the inlet and the outlet on the samples. So let us just consider the large geometry here. So if we just calculate the number of nodes, it will be approximately around 138 million. So we ran it on a 2-component flow, so it had 2 fluids. We use CFD lattice Boltzmann D3Q19 scheme, and we use double precision. So if we just roughly estimate the amount of memory we need, so it's 138 million nodes times 2 times 19 due to the scheme, and then the double precision, and then 6 simultaneous simulations, we approximately need around 260 gigs of memory. So if we just combine both small and large geometry, we need approximately 420 gigs of memory. So we can see that for such massive simulations, the cloud architecture will be very helpful. Here is the AWS or the Amazon Web Services serverless multi-node architecture that we used. The cloud architecture consists of 4 components. One is the AWS Lambda, which helps us run the code without managing servers. The DynamoDB, which is a serverless key-value database. And then S3 bucket, which can be used to store and protect any amount of data. And then the step functions, which are serverless functions used to conduct a sequence of checkpointed operations. So looking at this diagram, when a user submits the job, the Lambda function triggers and updates the job status, and that is stored in the DynamoDB. The Lambda function also triggers the step functions, which accept input files from the S3 bucket, run the code, and then uploads the output files back to the S3 bucket. So this is how the multi-node architecture works. So in this slide and the next slide, I'll be explaining the basic equations that we use in our web-based application and how our web-based application will be deployed to AWS. So our web-based application uses reactive transport models. For the flow, we solve Navier-Stokes equation. For solute transport, we solve advection and diffusion equation. And for the reactions, we add source terms in these coupled equations, which can determine the reactions. So basically, the reactions can be of 2 types. They may be fast equilibrium or slow kinetic reactions. So for the fast equilibrium reactions, they are determined using the equilibrium constants, and for slow kinetic reactions, the variation of concentration with time are actually considered in these source terms. So our web-based application is an MPI-based lattice-Boltzmann monorepo, and that is actually Dockerized code. It is deployed on AWS using AWS Code Build and Amazon ECR. So this AWS Code Build can compile the source code, it can run some tests, and it can produce software packages which are easily deployed. And then Amazon Elastic Container Registry, it helps us store, manage, and share these container images. So basically, when a developer's pull request is approved, the code build compiles the source code, runs some tests, and produces container images that can be easily deployed. And these container images are stored in Amazon ECR. The AWS Lambda in the multi-node architecture uses Lambda functions, which include these Docker images and additional configuration info, and they trigger the necessary resources that are required for running the code. We actually ran some benchmarking tests to determine the number of nodes that would be more efficient for running our simulations. We tested 2-node, 3-node, 4-node, and 5-node architecture, and we determined that when we use a 2-node architecture, we find there is a 22% increase in the computational time when compared to a 5-node architecture. And when we compared the computation cost for different node architectures, we found that with the 2-node architecture, we had a 50% reduction in cost when compared to the 5-node architecture. And this became a determining factor in our choice for the 2-node architecture, which included C15 and 18x large instances. In addition to those, we used G3x large as a master node, which could host ParaView for web-based post-processing. So here is just a summary of the simulations that we ran on both the small geometries and the large geometries. So this gives different pressure differences that were applied, the size of the output files, for the time the simulations were ran on the multi-node architecture, the total CPU hours. So we had actually run around 460,000 CPU hours. We used 2160 CPU cores, 445 gigabytes of memory, and then 3 terabytes of storage. We could conclude that with a robust numerical method and high performance cloud computing, that is AWS multi-node architecture, we could reduce the computational time by 88%, the memory requirements by 82%, and CapEx by 25%. So basically, when we combine high performance cloud computing with reactive transport models, we found that they become more efficient. So here are just some of the references for the AWS terminology that we used. Thank you very much for your time. Do you have any questions?